Here we go, love.
Okay. Okay, we're live.
Hello, hello.
Hey, I don't know where Miss Phoenix is. I'm going to share the link with her, though.
Hey, my loves. Mine is buffering.
Mine is a little bit too. Just give it a minute. It's probably the weather.
There we go. Well, what is up with this, Kel?
I don't know.
Come in and say hello, hello, please.
I shared it with Phoenix. Yep. So,
Oh, good Friday evening, my loves.
Lord.
Hey, sister.
Hey. I don't know why
Friday,
this
guys. It's a Friday. I need to go turn the chat down in the live stream because it's confusing me. Please, guys, when you come in, please don't forget to hit that like button. Share us out. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and make sure you turn on the notification bells. That way you're notified when we go live or whenever we upload a video. Other than that, hope you guys are having a good Friday.
Good Friday.
We're going to talk about some different stuff tonight. We're going to talk about the Dybbuk box, and we're going to show a little bit of video on that. And we're also going to talk about the Enfield ghost, and we've got some more footage on that too. And guys, I can't take credit because I didn't do those videos. I did go find footage that I could use, so any video goes to a thank you to the people that made that video possible, so we could get footage from it. But other than that, how's everybody doing?
I'm coming. I'm on my way. I'm on my way back trying to.
Are you lost, love?
Like always. There we go. Do you see me? Hi.
Hold up, Chuck. There you go.
Oh, Chuck. Do you guys see what's in the background? I'm playing our live.
So, hold up. Be patient with us a minute, guys. This is a typical Friday, and I was trying to put our screen over the live stream so it doesn't make it feel like I'm being, lagged. But anyway, where's all my people at? Where's our peoples?
Well, I did send the link to Phoenix.
I put it on my Facebook that we was going live, but I don't think I put what time was going live, so they just have to come check us out. See, that's what I'm going to have to figure out about this, is how to merge this together with YouTube. That way,
well, we are on YouTube.
Do our thumbnails, because I could go back and edit and put the thumbnails in our videos once we get done with the live stream. But that's hard when I could have done it all at the very first and had all this going. And someone said that YouTube is not being good about sending out notifications either, so that kind of sucks.
Yeah, I actually put this on our Facebook, my Facebook too, so people could watch. So I guess people slowly come in, or we can start and they can just whatever.
Well, what I would like to do, because I don't want our fans to miss out on what we're doing. So I guess we'll there's my Southern Belle. Hello, hello, love.
Hello, Southern Belle.
Southern Belle, we're gonna I think it's gonna be a pretty interesting Pretty interesting video tonight. We're going to talk about Dybbuk boxes and why we shouldn't mess with them. And we got some video to show on that. And we're going to be talking about the Mansfield ghost. If you're not familiar with the Mansfield ghost, it is not the Mansfield. Oh my God, the Enfield. Sorry, the Enfield ghost.
Yeah, basically Conjuring 2 movie. That's
Yeah, it's not
basically
the Conjuring 2. We got some videos on that also. But like I was saying earlier, it's one of those Fridays where we're trying to get everything together, and this Zoom is a little bit more difficult to figure out than what we had thought it would be. I still need to figure out how to converge the two together to YouTube and Zoom so we can do our thumbnails.
Oh my God. Okay. My unofficial drink that I drink, they need. This one is delicious. This is a brand new flavor.
Kel loves those drinks.
Oh God, I love my bangs. This one, if you guys remember the Lifesavers that were like strawberry cream savers.
Oh yeah, I love those.
So, yeah.
I'll tell you something else. You ever tried those caramel apple suckers? It's like a caramel apple.
Yes.
I love those. Where's our Miss Phoenix at?
I sent her a message. She said something, but I can't read what she said. Well, I can. Give me a minute. I just didn't want, whatever.
I have had a terrible headache going on. This makes, like I was telling Kel earlier, I probably have these headaches at least 3 days a week. And it's driving me crazy. I've tried to lay off the goody powders and nothing else seems to be working. So I've took 4 ibuprofens and 2 goody powders. Just took 2 goody powders a while ago. Gonna have to do something. These headaches are driving me insane.
Yeah, I'm sharing the link.
But anyway, when everybody gets in here, we'll do those videos.
Yeah.
What is your take on the Dybbuk box, Southern Belle? Stress, yes, it is stress headaches, big time.
Yep.
I mean, I've dealt with them more in the last few months than, which I've always had headaches. My daughter Wendy, she has migraines, and she got the migraines from when she was 6 years old. Her and the neighbor's kid was outside playing, right? Well, they found a tarpon turtle, and that little girl had put it in a backpack. Well, Wendy went on about her business, and she was playing in the yard. This girl comes up behind her and brings that backpack, and just pops her right in the back of the head. Full swing, and it busted Wendy's head open about that far. And she just grabbed her head and went, "Ow, stop it." And Wendy was such a tough kid back then. She and we thought, okay, she's gonna be okay, because it pissed me off when I seen that kid hit her with that backpack. Then all of a sudden my brother's flipping out, and he's like, "Oh my God, she's pouring blood." And she had on a little white tank top. The blood was just a gushing from the back of her head. And when we got out there and got her, and I seen her, it was split wide open. As she grew older, they had done some CAT scans of her head, and they found a big mass back there, and they said that was what was causing her headaches.
Yeah,
that mass in the back of her head, and it was called classic migraines. But she can't even stand, when she gets those headaches, she can't even stand to look at light, because it makes her sick at her stomach.
I get migraines
because mine is stress.
Do you know they're doing Botox in the neck for migraines now?
And Belle said she wouldn't ask her what she thought about Dybbuk boxes. She said, "Not really sure about them." She said, "I wouldn't open one if I knew that's what it was." Well, yes, I'm the same way you are, Belle, and I wouldn't open one for nothing. I wouldn't. People that, I was just telling Carol earlier, you know, a lot of these bigger YouTube channels, they're ordering them off the internet, and you don't know whether they're real or whether it's some fake. But well, just like I told Kel, when they send them, you manifest that thought and it's going to happen.
Yep.
Something bad's going to happen. Well, I've downloaded a couple of real Dybbuk boxes. And when we get a few more people in here, we're going to watch some video on that and some real footage of the Enfield ghost.
And not only that, I'm going to tell you guys, usually, because I know how some Dybbuk boxes are made, they're all different, and I'll show you guys, well, not show, I'll tell you guys what usually goes in them. I'm not going to tell you exactly how to make one, but you know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, you know, just like Hale said, a lot of people use them. If you've tried everything else and the cleansing don't work to get a spirit out, then you can trap it in a Dybbuk box, and then you're supposed to go
Bury it.
Bury it.
You don't burn it, you bury it.
We was just watching a TikTok the other day. Me and Kel was talking about it, and this girl had got one, and I was trying to think of ways, because I'm like, how, you know, if she would have made that Dybbuk box, how would she have got that puff of smoke to come out all of a sudden when she opened it?
Yeah.
I was thinking, okay, maybe she put, you know, one of those smoke bombs in there. But if she had did that, when she opened it up, I mean, a lot of smoke would have came out, not just a, you know, a puff.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that may have been real. Yeah, that's what I said too. A lot of the internet boxes are, you know, that especially the ones you buy off of eBay are fake. The only way that I would believe one was real, if someone had the story and the proof to go along with it, show that that box was real. But other than that, but you know, even when you get it, if it is fake, you can manifest stuff to it to bring something bad out. And I think a lot of them, that's what they're doing. But I wouldn't touch one of those with a 50-foot pole.
Yeah. Phoenix said she'll be here when she can. She didn't get a notice that we were going live again. Even though you and I did, it showed up that we were going live in so many whatever.
How do you trap a spirit when they go through walls or just vanish? That's what I was asking Kel, the same thing. How would you trap them when they can walk through walls and everything else? Well, I'm going to let Kel explain that to you, Southern Belle.
Okay. It's like, for some reason, if you purify salt, you know how they can't move around salt? It's like their, you know, protection. You actually make a circle and kind of trap them in the circle, and then finish the circle, and whatever's in the box will get in the box. It's like a ritual type thing, because you have to have certain like tools and stuff. Like some use purify candles, some use wax balls to seal, and then they use like a sigil to seal the thing in the box. Kind of like how the demon trap in Supernatural.
You know, just like she said, they can walk through walls and everything else. How would you trap them? But like you also said, with the prayer that you do of the binding of it, once it's in that circle and it's near that box, and you demand, you know, banish it to that box, it's got to go in there.
And you have to make sure your sigil's already in there.
And that's what holds it in.
Yeah, because there's a little picture, or like the one video that Rhoda does have, the symbol is made with twigs and leaves, but whatever you make your sigil with, like even on a piece of paper, it'll bind the spirit in there.
Hello, Miss Holy Cowgirl. How are you this evening? We're talking about the Dybbuk box and why you shouldn't mess with them, and we're going to be talking about the Enfield ghost. We've got footage of all this that we're going to play when a few more people gets in here. But welcome. We're glad to see everybody come in and hope you're having a good Friday evening. Southern Belle says, how do you get them in a salt circle if they can't go through salt?
You leave part of the salt. You don't fill the salt circle all the way in. And when you're doing your ritual, after you feel that you have the spirit in that circle, because it usually takes a medium or someone who can sense spirits to help make the Dybbuk box usually, or it doesn't matter. It can be a box, it can be a jar, it can be whatever you trap them in.
Right.
I know one sensitive medium trapped a spirit in a jar and then buried it.
Okay, so that was the thing. It don't have just to be a wooden box, guys. From what Kale's telling me, it can be a jar or anything.
And like
but
I was
once you get it in that, but Kale, my question is, how do you know when you got it in it?
I asked my other psychic friend that, and she told me it's like you can sense it in there. It's like you can sense the energy being like pulled in
right
to that object.
Guys, the video that I'm going to show, it shows, it's a guy that had ordered a Dybbuk box. And the reason that I chose this one, I actually chose two, but the reason that I chose the one was because he did do paranormal, things with it. And he's left this box by itself and he's filmed it in night vision. Nothing happens until 4:09 a.m., which, that's the witching hour.
From like 3 to 6.
Yeah. And he was showing, what he'd caught on video. And it's going to blow you guys' mind because I'm like, this guy had no cuts in his video. This is what makes me think that it's real. He said it scared him so bad when what happens that he abandoned it. I mean, he shut it down and then, he went and buried it. I'm like, I believe I'd have been saying some deep prayers and then burying it.
Yeah. But like I was telling Rhoda too, there's this other I don't remember what show it was. It's the weird thing, but it was this couple who bought a armoire, or it was like built really nicely. It was like you could put clothes in it or whatever, armoire, dresser, whatever. And they didn't start having paranormal activity until they brought that in, and they couldn't get the top of the cabinet open, the armoire.
Hello, Miss Phoenix Love. She said, hey, let's get the road on the show.
So I was telling this story, Phoenix, about a bigger Dybbuk box. Well, Dybbuk cabinet. Anyway, they couldn't get the top of the drawers open, right? So they found out after having a medium there and doing an investigation that there was a negative entity trapped in the top of that cabinet, and the wood maker who made it died and was also attached to it. So they moved it outside in one of their buildings. So that's what I'm saying. You can have a Dybbuk or a ghost box or whatever you trap it in. You can trap it in anything. Trap it in a milk carton and bury it. I don't know.
That's crazy. Okay, we got 5 watching now. Come in and say hello.
I think 2 of them are.
We will welcome you, I promise. There's no negativity goes on in here. We all love each other and we get along. So you guys, you want me to start the first video, guys? Give me a thumbs up or put a 1 in the chat.
Yeah, put a thumbs up, put a heart emoji in the comments. Tell us to start it.
You guys are ready, give me a 1 or something. Just put a 1 in there in the chat. It's pretty good. It's pretty interesting. I think our video is going to be pretty interesting tonight. I mean, it really opens your eyes up to the craziness. Phoenix is like a milk carton.
I was talking about one of those plastic milk cartons that won't disintegrate, or the glass ones, you know, the old glass kind. I mean, you can basically put a spirit in anything to trap it.
Phoenix, I was telling Kel and Southern Belle. Southern Belle's like, well, I wouldn't touch one if I knew what it was. Neither would I. Neither would I. Okay, she's 1111. Okay, let's go.
Hey, get your snacks, guys. Get your snacks.
Yeah, I think you guys are gonna like this.
And remember, we credit goes to the people who made these videos, so we won't get
Yes. The credit goes to the people that made these videos, guys. It's not something that I put together off of the internet.
Yeah.
We'll do the gifting box first.
Oh, you talking about the actual possession box?
Yeah.
Just an FYI, guys. This is
some of this, when it gets boring, I'm gonna skip.
Did he get rid of the box?
Wow. That is fucking crazy.
Yep.
Oh, okay, guys. I was just sitting there thinking, you know, she's saying she couldn't move.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if she was able to once they got her away from that. That's not going, is it?
No.
Okay.
I'm
That
seeing
was
you.
so crazy.
Yeah, it's like I said, Zach Bagans now owns that box. And the weird thing is that if you go to his haunted museum, there's a video that he had, you know, where he had his haunted museum stuff where he would show haunted objects people would bring him. The Kevin guy was there with this other, I think his name was Chris, who actually bought it from Kevin. And eventually Zach opened it on Ghost Adventures, you know, during the pandemic when he was doing this special. Oh my gosh. It just sent shivers down my spine.
Guys, that right there, you know, I don't know if everybody feels it or if it's just people that's sensitive feels it, but I know anytime that if I go to a yard sale or an old antique places, especially old antique places, I can feel energy on those things as soon as I walk in a building. And it's like it drags you right to it. You know what I mean?
There's some really love.
My sister's house, she is an antique enthusiast, buddy. Let me tell you. Anything antique, she will buy it. The older it is, the better she loves it. And I've told her, I'm like, no wonder you're hearing things move around in your cabin and you're seeing things fly across the room. And she just don't, my sister don't show it no attention whatsoever. And maybe she's doing the right thing by that, by not giving it any attention and saying, yeah, I saw that, you know?
Yeah.
Because all the old stuff she has, I mean, it creeps me out when I've walked in her house before, just because of the energy that you can feel off all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But guys, I'm gonna show you the second part where this guy had bought one, and Phoenix, I don't think he was here earlier when I was telling Belle. The reason that I chose this second video is because you can tell there's no edits in this guy's video whatsoever. Therefore, it makes me believe that it's real, what happens here. This is why we should not play with Dybbuk boxes, guys.
And like I said, where you see it at night, because it goes to the night vision.
Okay, here we go.
So whoever this guy is, he's credited.
Yeah. Well, it don't give his name. I don't think. I'll look when I go on there. Okay, this one is Dybbuk box opening and the paranormal experiment. So Here we go.
On this channel, we're used to dealing with dark and dangerous paranormal energy. So when I was given the chance to get my hands on a real Dybbuk box, I jumped at it. A Dybbuk box is said to be a box which contains a malevolent spirit or even a demon.
See how that box looks,
This
guys?
box was sent to me by an antiques dealer who got it from a house clearance. Let's open up the parcel and see what we've got.
Phoenix said she thought Zach opened, what was that? What was what? Holy cow, girl.
He
Yeah.
opened the Dybbuk box. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, with a rabbi.
Yeah.
It appears to be a very old wooden box and it's been sealed
That
using
noise.
melted wax to stop whatever's
I don't know,
inside
hear it,
from
love.
getting out.
I'm just hearing the
I'm
video.
not sure what's in the box, but let's carry out a few paranormal experiments
Watch this,
before
guys.
we open it. First, I'm going to use a K2 EMF meter.
Do the red.
The fact this device is lighting up near the box means that the box is emitting an electromagnetic field. EM fields are said to be associated with spirit manifestation.
That's true.
That means there is either something electronic in the box or possibly a real supernatural entity. Next, I try a spirit box. This device rapidly scans through radio frequencies, and it's believed that ghosts can use the bursts of radio to communicate. Let's take a listen.
It's gonna get good in a minute, guys. This is at night.
After the success of the EMF meter and the spirit box experiments, I decided to leave a full spectrum night vision camera on the box overnight. For most of the night nothing happened, until 4:09 AM.
Look at that shit, guys.
Damn.
The next morning it's time to open the box and find out what's inside,
Right
and
here,
whatever
here's
it
what I'm
is
talking
is
about.
still
There's
affecting
no
the
cuts
EMF
in this
meter.
part right here, guys. Keep an eye
I
on
carefully
this
cut
part.
through the wax and some string which is holding the box
He's a
closed.
dumbass.
Yes. He let it out when he opened it.
You did.
It was lingering right around it. See how it popped open right there?
Yep, it was like, ooh, I'm out.
3, 2, 1. Notice how the EMF meter seems to have stopped flashing at the exact moment the box was opened. Let's take a look inside. There seems to be several items inside. We need a closer look.
Remember, Kayla
First
talked
off,
about
there's a
the
burnt
bloody-
or damaged playing card, the
wax,
Queen of
guys.
Hearts. There's a manky looking black feather. There's 3 sharp animal teeth, perhaps from a cat or something similar. There's an old looking ring. It's very small, perhaps a child's ring. Then there's this, which feels like a ball of wax, but there's something solid in the middle of it. And finally there's a strange symbol made out of twine and twigs.
And there's your sigil.
I'm going to put everything back in the box for now and see if we can free the spirit inside. I decided to try
What's this?
splashing some holy water into the box.
Yeah, watch
Hopefully
this,
this will be
guys.
enough to help the entity move on. What happened next caused me to abandon this paranormal experiment.
The dang box catches on fire. Guys, at first when he saw that, he had run off and left it. And he came back and he finally closes it right
You
here.
see, he's like, oop.
Yeah, in his statement, he said he'd ran off and left it when he saw it catch on fire. Then he knew he had to go back and close it. Well, he should have said some kind of prayer over that. He should have said some kind of prayer over that box.
I agree.
He said that all that he done was took it and buried it. He should have said a cleansing prayer over that box and over the area that he was at. I would have cleansed my whole house.
Or his studio or something.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, the Dybbuk boxes aren't something you mess with. Like the certain items that was buried or sealed with that box had to do with whatever kind of spirit they thought it was. Because they used a bird feather and some teeth. And it looked like the wax means it's sealed, like because wax seals stuff, right? I don't know what was in the sealed wax ball.
That's what I would have loved to have found out, what was in that ball of wax. After, he went that far to open it up.
But however,
curiosity kills the cat.
But however, and then you had the sigil thing made out of twig.
Exactly. I wonder what that symbol was.
It's like every sigil is different to the person who created the spell, or the some people call it a spell, some people call it a prayer that seals the spirit in. Mm-hmm. It's because if the word Dybbuk means evil spirit in Ruby, chill out.
That's probably what says, how the cowgirl was hearing.
Probably. I'm so used to Ruby snoring that don't. Anyway, as I was saying about the Dybbuk is like a Russian word for evil spirit. You guys can look up the definition if you want. But yeah, it's different in every country, the way the spell or the way the things put in the box.
Yeah, that's crazy. I watched a lot of YouTubers. And like I was telling earlier.
And if you notice
when they do when they're real and when they're fake.
Yeah. But then when you see those boxes, right, sis? Mm-hmm. You see like different items in the box. Right. Sometimes it's like wax candles or like other things, but I always notice one theme is wax.
Yeah.
For the seal.
So the wax is what's used to seal it, right?
Yeah.
So when Zach Bagans got that, was it sealed in wax?
I know it had something wax in it, like it had like some candles or something in it. Mm-hmm. And it had some kind of sigil thing in it, but I know the guy who Kevin sold it to had it in his house for a while, and then he buried it like on his property only where he knew. Before he sold it to Zach.
That's what I was telling Cal earlier, Southern Belle. Even after I'd watched that video, because I wanted you guys to see it also and get your opinion on it. I felt right there where the box caught on fire when he was putting that holy water in there and it started smoking. Mm-hmm. When I thought, what could he have put in there, to make that flame up like that? I didn't see anything in that box.
Because I'm thinking if it's only holy water, because I've seen holy water do some weird things on different items. Like I was blessing a house, okay? And I put a cross with holy water with my finger, right, on the door frame. The door frame turned black.
Wow.
Where I put the, holy water.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And, but other than that, it's like, I've never seen holy water catch on fire.
I've never seen that. Ever. And that's why I wanted to show that video, because I wanted your all's opinions on it. Belle says, she said, I don't know whether, I believe in those videos or not. I didn't either. That's why I picked that one. Mm-hmm. And I told Kel, I said, it just blows my mind where he showed that. And I didn't see no cuts in it, unless it was already redone. But still, what made that box catch on fire?
Like, was the water he poured in it not water? Was it like, did he
That's
already have
it.
an accelerant in the box
But what I'm saying, what
and
could
it
he have
not
made
holy
the
water?
accelerant?
But
Yeah, what could the accelerant been though?
Mm.
There was nothing in there. Everything looked dried. That what we
yeah,
saw, that he pours that holy water in there, and then all of a sudden the starts smoking. Then all of a sudden it catches on fire.
and it
That
didn't
one's a
kind
little
of.
mind rattling. I can't debunk that one, and it's bothering me.
I can't either. I tried when Rhoda showed me that one. I tried, guys. I tried,
That one was
but
a boggling.
like when Zach opened the other Dybbuk box, the one that Paranormal Witness was about, the gift one that Rhoda showed. When he opened it, weird stuff happened around that Dybbuk box too. Like, because he had the SLS camera on it, and you could see a little figure around the box.
Wow.
I wish I could find that footage.
True,
but-
Southern Belle. She said, "What makes you think it's really holy water?" That's
Yeah.
what we were trying to figure out. What was that liquid? But still, even though with the liquid, how did that liquid make something dry with no source of fire in it start smoking, then all of a sudden flames?
I mean, what
start?
was on the feather? Maybe was there something on the feather that caught on fire? Because
It's
with
like I said, it's mind-boggling. It's something for you guys to think about. How
see,
he
so
did that. Was it real? Was it something he staged? Even with the moving of it, I tried to look around the box to see if I could see anything, and I couldn't. I mean,
no, that's me. I Rhoda showed it to me before we got on live, and
because see, it was so mind-boggling to me. I'm like, hell, I can't wait to show this to everybody else because I wanted your guys' thoughts on it. And me and Kel sat there and watched it, and we couldn't come up with the solution to what it was. Was it holy water? Was it something else? But even if it was accelerant, how did the smoke coming in the fire?
because
It, jerking around at 4:09 in the morning. He videoed it and did a time lapse on it. And at 4:09 in the morning, the box starts moving. And then he captures, what was it? Let me out.
yeah,
But
I mean,
anyway,
I thought it was interesting. And guys, the other video that she's going to show you about what Conjuring 2 was about, that girl named Judy. Is that what was her name? It was Judy or
yeah.
okay. Some people thought this was faked. I mean, I think even the Warrens thought this case was fake.
Yeah,
if
they did it first.
They
Had
did
made
at-
the girl.
they did it first.
Yeah, they made her put water in her mouth. And then she was to hold the water in her mouth while they, had filmed her. And they still caught the voices coming out.
And that's when they believed.
Yeah.
I
I've got
mean-
footage of the actual girl. You guys might have saw it. I don't know, but it's something interesting for us to talk about. And
Because I didn't know if you guys knew that Conjuring 2 was also based on an Ed and Lorraine case.
yeah, you're right about that, Southern Belle. But I just don't know. I mean, like I said, I've tried to rip that video apart.
And Rhoda and I were trying to do that when we were watching it together. And I was like bewildered. That's
yeah,
what
I
I'm
mean,
gonna
we was
look
trying
for.
to come up with every explanation what it could have been. And it's mind-boggling because I couldn't. But she, yes, SB7 responses can be faked. But was that faked? How did he get that box to jiggle like that? I mean, it's just there. We could say a million things, but he knows.
Like, did he have a string that was attached to the box and he was off camera, like twitching the string that we couldn't see?
Well, that's what I'm saying. But why? I mean, he went through hours of filming that through a time lapse, and then all of a sudden at 4:09 it starts to jiggle.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't. That one is weird
Yeah.
to me, but I hope you guys like this other one Rhoda picked, because this one is still one of my favorite cases that the Warrens were on. And this is the first case that the Warrens actually went overseas for as well.
Okay.
The first
guys.
case.
Okay, we're gonna start this one off with the Enfield ghost. We got 3 that's gonna go with this, and that could have been set up with a magician or mechanism underneath the box and the table. It could have been, but see, still yet, it's got you thinking about it, don't it? I have sat here literally all day, guys, trying to tear that apart, and I couldn't do anything. I mean, I slowed it down frame by frame, hoping I'd catch something, and I wasn't able to. Okay, we're going to start with the Enfield ghost.
Okay. And Rhoda might skip some of the parts that are.
Yeah, I'm going to skip some of these because I don't want to get in trouble for it showing the freaking
film. Conjuring 2, because it talks about that a little bit.
There's a house in a terraced street in Ponders End, North London, where the events of the past 2 months have baffled all who've heard about them and scared the life out of those who've been directly involved. This is the home of Mrs. Peggy Hodgson and her family. At the moment, the children are being looked after by relatives because Mrs. Hodgson is ill in bed. The sequence of bizarre happenings which unfolded around these children in September have made the walls of the house rattle.
This is his video.
The impact of flying objects and the sound of mysterious
this is the guy who
knocking.
actually recorded the
Soon a second family was drawn
voices.
into the action. The next door neighbours, Peggy and Vic Nottingham.
We've been sitting listening to the knocking, and the woman next door, she called me in. We couldn't make out what it was. I heard the knocking as I walked in the front door, but I went all over the house, checked it, checked the walls, checked everything. Just couldn't make out what it was. So in the end, I thought to myself, well, there's only one thing. I'll call the police.
One of the 2 police officers sent to investigate made the following remarkable statement about what they heard and saw in this living room.
Guys, this is police officers.
There were 4 distinct taps on the wall and then silence. About 2 minutes later, I heard more tapping from a different wall. The other police constable checked the walls, attic and pipes, but could find nothing to explain the knocking. The eldest son of the family pointed to a chair next to the sofa. I then saw the chair slide across the floor. It moved approximately 3 to 4 feet and then came to rest. I checked the chair, but could find nothing to explain how it had moved.
The police definitely wanted to get out of the house.
How could you tell?
They was as frightened as I was. And then the second night we went back in there again, and we got the same reactions again. We got this knocking. And then this here Lego. I witnessed a box of Lego underneath a chair, but I walked into the room. As I walked into the room, the Lego began to fly. But where it was coming from, I don't know. One piece hit me on the arm. And
Did it hurt?
Oh, it brought a lump up. It caught me on the elbow, and it brought a lump up. And as I
one
say,
tiny little piece?
One tiny little piece of Lego. Now, it's not much bigger than 3/4 of an inch.
Yeah.
But it caught me on the elbow. And as I say, it brought a lump up.
You can tell this.
In the absence of a law against chairs that move on their own,
There's the guy.
the police were powerless to act.
He's the one that filmed this.
So the neighbours called in the man from the Society for Psychical Research. Maurice Gross is an inventor who devotes his leisure to investigating the supernatural. Since coming on the case, he's made several recordings of what he says are unique examples of a poltergeist in action. Tapes can, of course, be faked, but in this one, recorded in a bedroom after the family had gone to bed, the reactions of the Hodgson children to some very strange occurrences seem totally genuine.
All the lights gone out.
There's a lot going on.
drove the lamp
on the head.
right way across the room and pulled it out of the socket.
Quick, turn the lamp off.
The light plug was pulled from the socket 3 times after that. Then, after a period of watching and waiting,
That reflects.
something even stranger happened.
Who's that shaking the door?
I mean,
What's on there? Mum's laughing.
when they base on real things, they try to make them.
Whoa, you see that?
The slipper was thrown across the room and hit the door as I was holding the door.
My one.
The white slipper hit the door as I was holding the door.
He hit me on the leg. Where's the other one?
The other one's over here.
What sort of a case is this in your experience?
Well, I think this is probably the best case this century.
First for your boyfriend.
In fact, as far as
cowgirl.
documentation is concerned, it may
What?
be the best case of all time.
Hello, cowgirls.
What
If I was
special
here, so I'll
aspects
take my
make it
boyfriend
so?
to the hospital.
Well, the
Oh,
entity itself has
Bam.
been very,
Hey.
very violent at times, and of course
Yeah.
the witnesses and the documentation have been excellent. The violent things I've seen happen are the furniture moving, the furniture being thrown upside down. In fact, one night I was standing here, there were about 11 or 12 people in the room, and I was standing talking to one of the members of the family, and in front of the settee, and the settee went straight up in the air and turned upside down, right in front of me, no more than a foot away from me.
Well, it looks like a heavy piece
What
of
particular
furniture.
tape stands out in your
yeah,
mind?
that love CD
Well, I think
is.
one particular tape that stands out in my mind is the incident where I was communicating with it quite a long while, very seriously, and then something happened which was very funny indeed.
Knock. 1 for no and 2 for yes. Are you a male spirit? 1 for no and 2 for yes.
Yeah, I agree, Phoenix. Hear that knock?
That's 2. You are a male spirit. Did you used to live in this house? You did. Was it more than 50 years ago? Yes.
Wow.
Did you die in this house? Did you pass on? You did pass on in this house. Now, why are you here? Are you unhappy? You're not unhappy. But why are you here? Is it because you want to give us a special message? No. You don't want to give us a special message.
He just wants to scare the shit out of me.
Are you having a game with me?
Whoa, you see that
Oh,
kid?
right.
Damn.
As I asked the question, are you having a game with me? It threw the cardboard box and the pillow right at my face. Well, thank you very much. That was a very good answer.
And we was all just standing in the kitchen, all of us together. And then all of a sudden a pool of water come from nowhere in the middle of the floor in the kitchen. And then we heard the toilet chain pull. And there was no one at all out in the toilet. We was all in the kitchen. And the door opened in the toilet. Then the chain went. And as we walked out there, the toilet brush came from the thing what it was in, the container. And the brush just come up and settled on top of the toilet. Just like that, as if someone had just got in there, pulled the chain and then took the brush up and to wash the toilet. And the doors, well, and then the bathroom door opens and the kitchen table has just tipped up. And there's Janet, one of the girls, she's been just sitting on the chair and she's been thrown completely across the room.
There's a child's chair, I bet it weighs about 10 pounds, padded one with metal legs. And the child is sleeping in a single bed one side of the room, and I was sitting on a single bed the other side of the room, with his chair in the middle. The child went to sleep, and all of a sudden she got a little bit restless. Well, just after that, his chair was lifted off the ground, and it was thrown about 9 foot through the air, a good 9 foot, for no reason whatsoever. No one was on the end of it. Didn't touch no one. Just went a straight line down the room.
And what did you do?
I ran out the room again. You know, I
What do you
mean, when you see these things, there's nothing on the end of them. You begin to shake.
The third family to be caught up in the story was John and Sylvia Burkham, who live a few doors away. John is Mrs. Hodgson's brother, and he and Sylvia have spent hours at the Hodgson's house, trying to help them through all the unexplained goings on.
Why did
But
none
they've
of the
had
up
plenty of
in
shocks
that
of their
row
own.
be haunted as well?
Well, maybe
Now, what happened in
because
this
he died
bedroom?
in that house and he didn't.
Well, I heard a noise
Well, leave them
downstairs.
there, I don't
I
know.
come up, and there was the eldest girl on the floor.
But the Warrens
But
think
the other one's missing.
really man.
So I look under this bed. I look under this one.
Wow.
And as I stand
I
up,
hate to hear that.
I see it.
COPD and diabetic, that's not
There she
good.
is.
No, it's
across
not.
this radio, one leg in the air, and her head hanging down. Just to prove that I wasn't mad, I yelled for my wife to come up to see what I have just seen. But she was asleep.
As a roof repairer, Vic Nottingham is used to tall stories. But he never thought he'd play a leading role in one like this.
I've got one chap at work, for instance, and he says to me, how's your ghost getting on?
Can't wait until you share that
You know,
other
I
video.
mean, it's no good talking
The
to a chap
actual
like that.
boy.
Because he's got no reaction on it whatsoever. He thinks that I'm going around the bloody beanbag, you know what I mean? But,
Do you think you are?
well, I was straight. I mean, I'm 44 and I've never witnessed anything like it before in my life, but the only thing that worries me, see, being a roofer by trade, is beginning to get on top of you. Your nerves begin to shatter a little bit.
Yep.
In every story of things that go bump in the night, there are two possibilities. One, that it's a hoax. Two, that there's something going on beyond the grasp of the human mind. If this is a hoax, it means that some of the 17 people who've seen things have been playing an elaborate and twisted joke. on
Why
the
would
others.
like 17 people
If it isn't a hoax, it
be in
means
this
that
hoax?
either
I mean-
those 17 people have all been having hallucinations, including the police, or
Exactly.
this is the best
17
documented
people
ghost story.
It's not going to make
Of
up
all
something like that.
And if their stories all
Tell me why you are upsetting this family. Is it because you enjoy doing it? You do enjoy doing it. Well, I suggest that now you've got... Now, what does that mean? Why have you done 3 knocks? Now, I ask you the question again. 2 knocks for yes, and 1 knock for no. Now, yes, that's right, you understand. Now, do you enjoy upsetting this family?
Wow.
You do? Well, now, will you please go away? Because I think you've had enough of your jokes.
No.
You won't go away.
Nope.
But I would like you to go away, and go away because I think you've been upsetting this family long enough, and it's time you went away. You understand
Notice
me?
they're filming under the
Please
bed to see
go
if they
away.
see anything.
Yes, you must go away. It's absolutely essential that you go away. No, you mustn't be obstinate. You must go away.
I don't.
Well, you must.
Keep saying
I'm
no.
sorry, but you must stop annoying this family. You've had enough. You've had a good time. Now, please go away.
I think what brought the Warrens into this case
All right.
was hearing that deep
Please
voice
go
was
away.
coming out of an 11-year-old
Can't say
girl.
any more to you now.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
These
Okay.
teenage sisters believe they're haunted by a poltergeist.
I was going to ask
Did you hear that?
the same question as I asked earlier.
Mm-hmm.
How many voices are
Watch the youngest girl. That is
there?
Judy.
600 the voices.
I know the joke.
How many really are there, Margaret?
I think so far we've had 10
Three.
sensible voices, but the rest of the names are absolute rubbish.
That's scary.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder why he possessed that young girl.
11-year-old Janet Hodgson appears to be the focus of many of the
I
strange
called her Judy, but
happenings in
it's
Green
Janet.
Street.
Sorry.
But they also affect her 14-year-old sister, Margaret, and their
It's a,
younger brother, Billy.
It's not a movie. It's this guy's.
One of the first manifestations
evidence
was
that
when
he had
Lego bricks
recorded
began to
on this
fly at high
family.
speed around the living room.
And this is the footage that caught the attention of Hollywood.
How does it feel to be haunted by a poltergeist?
It's not haunted.
Why isn't it haunted?
I don't know.
Does it frighten you, the things that happen here?
Oh, well, it did first, but now I've got more used to it. And you learn to accept the things that happen. It slung covered at Mum. It hit Mum. Slung a bookshelf at Margaret.
Have you tried telling it to go away?
Yes, many times. No, nothing.
And what does it reply?
No, it won't. It'll stay another 6-7 years.
The local police could find no explanation for the knocking either.
Yeah, sort of
They were
like
even more baffled when two of their beat constables reported seeing an armchair levitate across the Hodgsons' living room.
It came off the floor, or nearly a half-inch, I should say, and I saw it slide off to the right, about 3.5 to 4 feet before it came to rest.
And not only
I
that,
checked to
the
see whether or
warrant
not it
thought
could
the
possibly
young
slid
girl
along the floor.
was
I
just
placed the
trying to
marble
cry
on
out
the
for
floor to
attention
see
at
whether or not the
first.
marble would go in the
Because
same
the mother
direction.
worked all the time.
As the chair did, and it didn't roll at all. I checked for wires under the cushion of the chair, and I could find no explanation at all.
Maurice Gross is an electronics engineer and an investigator for the Society for Psychical Research.
Over here was Janet, and over here, in this bed here, was Margaret.
It was in the same bedroom a month later, with all the family present, that Maurice Gross first challenged the poltergeist to talk.
And this was actually the result. You'll hear here the whistling first of all, and then the barking. And here is this noise.
Wow.
The barking here is quite extraordinary, actually.
Actually sound like a dog.
Dang, right, I was getting ready to say that.
We got a dog in here.
I then said to it, I then, as I said on the tape here, I then said to it, if you can whistle and bark and groan, then you can talk. And I asked it to actually say my name.
Well, just a minute. Right, we'll try again. I want you to call out my name. My complete name. Maurice Gross. See if you can do that. Very good. Let me hear you say my name again. Come on, let me hear you say my name. Come on, my name's Maurice. Let me hear you say it. Maurice.
Now that was the first time we heard the voice, and since then we've been hearing it again and again, and it's been getting louder and louder.
What about the voices? When did the voices start?
December the 12th.
December the 12th?
Yes.
And how did they start?
Well, one night Mr. Grove was talking about it about 8:30. He said, all we need now is the voices to talk. And that night I went to bed and can't remember exactly what happened. And
What's that knocking?
yeah, that's, can hear it now. I was doing that yesterday morning and Peggy was on her own. So she come in to us, because it wasn't her, she come in. We sat together and we heard it. And I counted how many knocks and there was 14 altogether. And it's doing it again now.
That was 3 knocks just now.
Yes, it goes in 3s and 2s. How we first got contacted, this was when Mr. Rose said, if there's anyone there, knock twice for yes, and if not, one for no.
I wonder, if we did that now, whether it would answer. Is anybody there? Is anybody there? Nothing. No.
It doesn't always do it to order. No, it doesn't. It goes in spasms. Like we're talking now. It may not now, after you've said that, but it won't do it when you want it to, straight away. No.
What about the voices? They sometimes say things and make answers. Is that the voice now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is creepy.
Is anybody there?
I want you guys to see the experiment
How
that we
many
do on this little
voices
girl.
are there?
Dirty Dick, Andrew Garner, and Stuart Thurton.
Dirty Dick, Andrew Gardner, and Stuart.
Thurton.
Oh, has he ever spelt that for you?
No. Mr. Ghost asked him, but something distracted Mr. Ghost last night when he asked. Oh, some time ago.
Do you know where at that
And what do you
footage
think
is on this
these
tape
are?
where they do the water
Are
test?
they people or are they just voices?
I think it's on the second.
Spirits? Oh, I don't know. I believe it's a ghost, a spirit speaking for us somehow. No.
That's what I would.
We don't get this at school, these voices are.
Setting so common.
Because
Yeah.
I believe when we're all separate,
Yeah, I
it's
just had
not
a
so
thing in
strong.
my freaking arm. That's what.
Just when you
gets
come
me.
near
How
each
was
other.
that voice coming
like
out
here,
of her?
Our aunts, we might be together.
And
Peggy's.
they show that it's not even her talking. How is
Janet's, your
how
voice
was
is
he able to
stronger,
speak through her?
isn't it? It seems to be the strongest.
I don't know. It always amazed me, that case.
When you hear the voice and it comes out, where does it come from? Here, your throat.
No.
Where do you feel it comes
Back
from?
of the neck.
Back of her neck.
Back of the neck.
Back of the neck, like it's like.
And so
he's
it
talking
must be as
behind
if
her.
it's somebody else speaking
Right.
there when you hear
Yeah,
it.
behind us.
And do you get the feeling when you hear the
I
voice?
think it had an
that there
attachment
is
to
a
her.
person there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And do they tell you much about
You
themselves?
hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Not really, no.
They just tend to growl and
Play around and sort of joke and be silly. You know.
I wonder, do you think there's anyone there just now?
Yeah, I do.
Who's that?
What?
Who's that, Janet?
Pardon? Stuart Thurton.
Stuart Certain, and he's one of the voices.
Yeah.
Why do you
So
think
was that
he
three
comes
spirits coming through her?
and speaks through
Yeah.
you?
To annoy us.
Does he ever say anything nice?
Well,
Because I think there was Bill,
Don't know
Stewart, and
yet.
somebody else.
Morris, wasn't it? I mean, not Morris.
Shall we try and speak to him? No. We'll see if he'll speak to
Dick.
us.
Dirty Dick.
Yeah.
yeah.
Is anybody there?
Dirty Dick. What a name.
No.
No,
Who's
no.
there?
You hear that?
Doctor
Doctor Who?
Look at her face.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Goose Chasers here.
And she's not even, I mean, you can't even see her
Mr.
mouth.
Gross, a
moving,
lot of
too.
people,
I know.
hearing these voices produced by the children, will simply say that they are very good ventriloquists and that this is all a hoax.
I thought they were
How would you
faking
react
for
to
the
that?
longest time till the
Certainly
Warrens
not.
came in.
Yeah, I know. Even the Warrens thought
they're
they were
certainly not
until the
very
water
good
test.
ventriloquists. We have had tests on them to see whether they can ventriloquize.
I think it was
They
Ed
can't.
who didn't
To
believe.
keep up this particular
Wondering.
type of voice
Yeah.
for any length of time without damage to the vocal cords is absolutely impossible. I mean, there must be some hoarseness attached to it. But don't forget, these children don't do this for a couple of minutes or so. They do it for lengths of periods up to 3 hours, and without any hoarseness or sore throats whatsoever. Well, perhaps, Guy, perhaps you've got something to say, son.
Yeah. I'd like to know how you make this noise without bashing Janet's vocal cords to pieces. If I do it for half a minute, I get a sore throat. Joe?
Guy Lyon Playfair is an author of books on the paranormal, with experience of poltergeist cases in Europe and Brazil.
How do you do it, mate? God, they can hours.
Don't you ever get a sore throat, Janet?
No.
Sure.
Yeah.
You never get pain in the back of the neck or something?
No. Oh, what do you mean? I'm sorry, I'm not with you. What? I feel.
Oh, you with me now? With me?
It's in the back of the neck. Yeah.
Well, tell us about that.
I don't know how to
No, tell me
explain
about that. You get it? Do you get it now? It's buzzing in the back of the neck.
Yeah.
Do you feel it vibrating as if it was sort of?
No, like someone
Someone
got their hand on the back of my neck like that.
Poltergeists seem to thrive on an atmosphere of tension that is partly sexual. The fact that most of the focuses are adolescents seems to contribute to the mischievous nature of the effects, leading some to suggest that the kids are faking or enjoying a laugh at the expense of the investigators. But to create all the bizarre effects that went on in this
When
house
she went knock
either involves a gigantic conspiracy with the neighbours or a disruption in our laws of mind and matter.
Come on, get back to the family.
I'm invisible.
I'm invisible.
Here we go, listen.
Invisible? Why are you invisible? I'm a G-H-O-S-T.
Because I'm a G-H-O-S-T.
That right there freaked me out because I'm a G.
Yes, he had quite a sense of humour.
I know,
He also used to
right?
swear a lot as well. I'm Maurice Gross, and I'm one of Britain's leading psychic investigators. I'm 76 now, and still on the trail of ghosts and poltergeists. In 1977, I led a team which investigated what is now regarded as the world's most famous poltergeist case, the Enfield poltergeist. It became world headlines at the time, mainly because of the strange, gruff voice that came from a girl called Janet. Hollywood soon got in on the act, and the makers of several box office hits acknowledged a debt to my case in Enfield.
Guys, he started doing this because
I've never been able to
felt that
forget
his
that
daughter
voice.
that got killed in
He
a
called
car wreck
himself
was trying to
many names,
contact him.
but mostly Bill or Fred. I still listen to the 180 hours of tapes I recorded during the investigation.
Bow, the pub. Check is down the street. Merrily, lobby past the train. Now now.
This voice is coming from an 11-year-old girl. Well, perhaps, Guy, perhaps you've got something to say, son.
Yeah. I'd like to know how you make this noise without bashing Janet's vocal cords to pieces. If I do it for half a minute, I get a sore throat. Goose chasers here.
And we found that on analysis, the voice was not made by the larynx, the voice box, but by the false vocal fold, which is above the larynx. And you only use that when you lose your voice and you talk like that. Well, if you talk like that for more than a couple of minutes, you start getting a sore throat.
Yeah.
Talk like that for 5 minutes or so, and you're going to start doing damage to your throat. And yet this voice used to speak up to 3 hours at a time. Not continuously, of course, but up to 3 hours at a time without the girl showing any distress at all. Absolutely remarkable. The voice was just part of it. The girl levitated, going from horizontal to vertical in a sixth of a second. Furniture was thrown around the rooms. The house was swarming with journalists. But after 4 days, they were baffled and frightened and called my team for help. A policewoman gave a sworn affidavit of the extraordinary activity she witnessed.
I am Fred.
Even the ghost chipped in, The death certificate confirmed the truth of what the ghost was saying. Many objects materialised out of thin air, spoons were bent, fires broke out spontaneously in the impoverished family's home. The family had to endure practically every known phenomena in a poltergeist case. They were traumatised. They didn't
There's where
benefit
they got the idea
financially,
for
Did you see that
poltergeist.
behind
ostracised
them?
by many of their local community.
Do you know they
Enfield
even got the
poltergeist
movie of
menaced that family
Poltergeist
for
from this
18 months.
case here?
It nearly destroyed
Really?
their lives. I'm going back to see them for the first time in 20 years. Janet, the girl at the centre of it all, prefers to remain anonymous, but I spoke to her mother and sister. Well, here I am at this famous house in Enfield, and here you see Margaret and her mother, who were very, very involved in this case. You remember the day I first came?
Yes, I remember, Mr. Gross, and you was on the case ever since then, onwards, and you saw everything and took
Are they still
note
living in
and
that? That's the
explained
house.
to
They're
us.
still living there.
You remember when the reporters and
Fudge
journalists were here?
I
How
know,
did they
right?
carry on?
I could see the fear in some of their faces also, and they probably could sense that we was dead scared and wanted to run out any minute. I know I did. My sister did, I know that.
I remember one of them came in and he explained to me that I'd got a poltergeist in the house.
And
I said, what on earth's that? And I nearly fainted when he told me. I didn't even know what it was. In fact, I don't think any of us did.
And we couldn't even
Until
say the word
afterwards.
poltergeist until Mr. Groves from Psychical Research explained how to say poltergeist.
That's me.
and also what it actually meant in, was it German? Was it?
Yeah,
Noisy ghost.
Noisy ghost.
In the meaning of it.
Noisy.
Also,
Yeah.
which he explained to us.
What do you say to people who say to you, with you children playing around, what do you say about
Well,
that?
I say that's a matter of opinion. If you haven't experienced it, you're going to say that. But it did really happen.
It upsets me deep down to think that they can't give us an open mind, the ones that just put it down completely. But all I can say to them is I wish they can experience the same thing as what we went through. They certainly wouldn't say it was false or fake or it was child playing or anything of that kind.
The welfare of people at the centre of poltergeist activity is very important. I believe that most poltergeist activity is actually caused by very high levels of stress. Occasionally, you get paranormal entities interacting
Look behind
with
that boy. See that?
And this is what I think happened at Enfield. I haven't spent all my years searching for the paranormal. Like everybody else, I had a normal life to lead. When I left school, I was a commercial artist. I did 2 years apprenticeship. You can see on the pictures on the wall, well, actually, they are my pictures that I have done. I turned into quite a good commercial artist, in fact. But then the war was looming, and I joined the Royal Artillery.
I want to watch that. It just tells about his wife and he.
Because everybody said that it would never last, it would never last. I don't know, perhaps it won't. I mean, it's only 51 years now, so...
This is the girl, his daughter, that just showed. That's why he started doing paranormal.
Because she got killed in a
car wreck, yeah.
You know, Bill Chappell, who helps Zach Bagans, I think it's his daughter that got killed.
Right.
And the mail meter was named after her.
Yeah. Guys, there's more I'm going to show with that, but I thought we'd take a few minute break to talk to you guys about it. That's crazy. You know, I have experienced door slamming. I've been shoved down, but far as the levitating,
no, I haven't been. That hasn't happened to me, and I don't want it to.
I don't know if I could handle the levitating. That would blow my mind.
Yeah, I've been like punched by spirits, scratched. I've been poked. I've been pushed, but I've never levitated either.
No. I think if I saw something like that, I'd freak out. Of course, I'm going to stand there. I want to get it on video. You know, my daughter told me, she's like, Mom, most people, when they see crazy stuff happening, they run from it. She said, you run towards it.
I do too.
Yeah, because I want to get it on video. I want to prove it.
Yep.
And that's, you know.
What blew my mind on this case, really, when I went back and viewed all the Warrens stuff, because you know how I'm a big fan of the Warrens.
Yeah.
I really thought that it was interesting, this case, because of the way the girl, like, her voice. You could see her face. She didn't, mouth didn't move.
Yeah.
And it was just projecting. And what got Ed and Lorraine involved was when they heard some of that footage, and Ed was like, oh, that's just an old man. And the guy's like, no, that's coming from an 11-year-old girl.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the crazy thing right there. Not only that, well, there's my chips. Not only that, but I mean, just like he said, a lot of people claimed, oh, you know, they was faking that to get,
and the kids wanted attention because the mother worked. And
yeah, and it wasn't the fact at all. I mean, they was really screaming out for help, and you know, for them to be called liars and they was making up a hoax. You know, it finally took, I think the Warrens went back and was listening to some of the tape. And there was a message that was in there, and it was like a light bulb came on for Lorraine. She had seen it. When she was looking at that kid, she knew. She was seeing that old man holding her by the neck and was talking through her.
Yeah, because she always felt that
the little girl said she felt a tingling in the back of her neck like someone was holding on to it.
Mm-hmm.
He was more or less using her as a ventriloquist doll.
Yeah, and it's like, it took Ed and Lorraine, like, doing the water test to get, you know, kind of validation. Like, in the way the movie ends, for some reason, like, if you watch The Conjuring 2, they leave it to where the Lorraines think, you know, the Warrens think that they're faking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's not. Like, you know, Hollywood changed it. Like, I think they even changed the ending of that movie, if I remember correctly. Because that's why I like documentaries better than the movies.
Yeah.
Because, like, okay, have you, or anyone that's watching, watched the documentary The Haunting in Connecticut? The documentary, not the movie.
No, I've not seen the documentary.
The documentary, you can find it, is better than the movie, because, you know, it's them actually telling you what they go through and stuff. And if you hear it from, like, John Zaffis, who was there, who helped them with the case,
mm-hmm.
He still has the mother, you know, the Virgin Mary statue that the hands got melted off during that exorcism of the house.
Wow.
I mean, it's just the movie. I don't like when Hollywood takes those movies and, like, you know, plagiarizes it to make it, I don't think they're as scary.
I'm going to tell you, when The Conjuring 1 came out, it was me. It's when we lived at our other house. You remember the house, Kelly, the great big house that had the great big giant computer room that I had made.
Yeah, and it also
it was all
old
me
man
and
and old woman in it.
yes, me and Ashley and her boyfriend Matt and Dwayne, and I believe it was Kimberly. Zayden might have been watching, but I'm thinking he was asleep. But anyway, we was up late watching different movies, so everybody wanted to watch The Conjuring. And I promise you, you guys remember on the movie where things started happening at 3:07 a.m.?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we had an old alarm, you know, the bell kind alarm clocks, the old bell type.
With the little bells on the top?
Yes.
Yeah.
This alarm clock hadn't worked in years. We just had it sitting there because it was old. At 3:07, the the hand stopped at 307, and that thing was all of a sudden when that happened, everybody's cell phones was flopping and making funny sounds, and we all flipped out. We jumped up and was like, what the hell was turning all the lights on in the house? And I'm like, wonder what caused that. But I think it was where our house was already haunted with those old people. And they're like, okay, they're watching something scary. Let's go ahead and spook them some more.
Exactly.
But boy, let me tell you, they did it. And guys, Kel, we was talking one day, and I was coming out of my bedroom, and she's like, oh, by the way, the two old people that lived there, they was standing right behind you, and you came out of the door. She described them to a T. My husband had seen them. I had seen them. My daughter had seen them.
And she never told me about him either, which was weird. And it's just, I saw him, like, because she and I have always FaceTimed, and she was just going past, and then I just saw the man's face, like it was clear as a day, like hers is right now on the screen. And what I think is cool about The Conjuring, the first Conjuring, which is also another documentary, and Ghost Adventures has been there, and a few other paranormal teams have actually been to that real house. And the people who own it now has experienced stuff, and their kids won't even stay in it.
That's why.
Huh?
That house that I went and did in Wardsburg.
Yeah.
The way that house was made, it looked just like the Conjuring house, okay? That was on that movie. And that's why I named that video the Conjuring house.
Because it kind of looked like it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like weird because some of the actual family went that Conjuring movie was based on, you know, they went back there, and do you know they got mad at the Warrens and kicked them out and kicked them out of the investigation, but they used them in the movie.
Yeah.
But
Chrissy, you missed it. I mean, we've been talking about Dybbuk box, and you have to go back and watch the video. It's pretty
yeah, she will.
Guys, this is my niece, Christina. She's like one of my children. I don't look at her as my niece. That's my child. That's my girl. And she was a teenager. Summertime come, she wasn't at home. She's at my house. Her dad would say, you got to at least bring her home 2 or 3 days. I'm like, no, that seemed like a lifetime to me. I didn't want to take her home for 5 minutes.
Sounds like the way it was in my house when I was younger.
If we went and took her home, we just took her to get a change of clothes or whatever, and she just come back home with us.
So yeah, we're just discussing the Conjuring 2, basically the story it's based on. We talked about the Dybbuk box, and now we're just doing a discussion before we show the last part of the.
Yeah. Well, actually, there's 2 more parts, but I'm gonna skim through that one. Because like I said, you know,
yeah, you only need the good
where
stuff.
they was making it. I don't want to show that. We'll skip to the juicy parts. Well, let me smoke this cigarette and we'll chit chat.
I want to see the part where, because I haven't seen it in forever, if it's on this one where the Warrens had her like hold the water in her mouth.
It does.
Because I haven't seen that in forever.
Yeah. That's why I was thinking, I'm like, what? You know, that would be something good, something that's got actual footage with it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Something that we could show instead of talking about it. Well, that way we can show it and talk about it. Christina, I want you to go back later on and watch the first part of this. The second part of the video, or the second video that we do on the Dybbuk box, that's the one I want you to pay close attention to, especially Michael. Because Michael gets into trying to myth bust stuff, but
Yeah.
tell me your thoughts on when you watch the video. It's going to show a part where this guy sprinkles holy water in the Dybbuk box, and you see smoke coming up and then flames. I tried to debunk it, and I couldn't. So, I mean, I don't know how he faked it. We're wondering if there was some kind of accelerant that could he have poured it on something that was in that box and it made it start burning? I don't know.
Because he kept saying that it was holy water, but yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it could have been anything. I'm not saying that it wasn't. Like I said, I tried to debunk it. I went through and slowed frames down.
Like I've said, I've seen holy water turn some wood a dark black color when I'd put a cross symbol on it, but I've never seen it catch on fire.
Oh, wow, Chrissy. Chrissy said, a friend of mine lives not far from the Conjuring House. I can see next time if he's in town. I'll see if he can get a picture. That would be great. That'd be great, Chrissy.
Yeah. Is she talking about the actual Conjuring House or the one?
The actual, yeah. Or you're talking about the actual Conjuring House, right, Christina?
I think that one's in like Connecticut, to be honest, the real one. Or Massachusetts. I really want to say it's in Connecticut.
Well, wherever it is, it's crazy. And I think you might be right. I think it is in Connecticut. But I get into real documentaries, especially. I like those better than I do the movie because, like you said, it shows actual events. Yes, it's the actual one. She said, it shows real events of stuff they've captured, and that's something for us to,
and
be able to see also stuff that they've tried to prove.
I don't mean to talk over you, Rhoda, but when it talks about when it does the reenactments on the documentaries, it just seems like it's better than the actual movie because they're there talking through it sometimes and you still see it and it's like you still get the raw emotion from it.
Yeah.
And that's why I like Paranormal Witness. I like The Haunting.
What is your opinion on the Dead Files?
You want my honest opinion?
Mm-hmm.
As much as I love Amy Allen, and she does have a gift, she's not always right. And it's like, how convenient is it? And I'm not saying anything with the detective because he is cute. Steve DeShavi. Anyway, I don't know. It's just some of the cases seem exaggerated for TV purposes.
Yeah.
I mean, because, okay, the Dead Files went to Lizzie Borden house. And this is back when I talked to Leanne. And she said that Amy Allen was... the stuff that she was saying wasn't kosher with what everybody else was talking about. Maybe she was picking up on other stuff, because when I was there, I kind of get where she was talking about fragmented, like she thinks it's not the Bordens, but like fragments, how they say people's soul can split.
Yeah.
Okay. Like when they die, it's like their dark part can be left behind.
Right.
And she was saying stuff like that, because everybody knows what the Lizzie Borden house is, even Amy Allen. Okay. So I'm wondering if she was saying different stuff because she wanted to be different than anyone else.
Right.
But Leanne thought she was full of shit.
Really? Yeah, I don't know.
some of these shows I enjoy just to watch. I mean, I like Paranormal 911.
I do too. Oh, guys. Earlier, not to overtalk you, Kel. Earlier, when I was showing Kel, you know, the videos that I was going to play for you guys tonight, I was in the bathroom. And I heard this deep voice. I didn't know whether, because it sounded like it was right in the bathroom, and I heard it say, "Get out." Man, I'm telling you, I was trying to hurry up and get the hell out of there. And I said, Kel, I said, did that come from this thing I was just playing, this video clip? She's like, what? I said, did that thing say, get out? She said, yeah, it did. I said, girl, let me tell you.
And then to make a funnier moment of funny, so she wouldn't be scared, I said, well, I did the same thing to my mom once upon a time. Like, my mom was getting a piece of angel food cake in the kitchen, and I talked through the fan. You know how the fan makes a weird noise anyway when you talk through it. I went, don't touch that cake. And she came in and looked at me and was like, did you hear that? I was like, hear what? He told me not to touch the cake. And I was like, well, you touched it and you got a piece. She's like, it's my cake. I
was sitting there, I'm like, what the hell should be telling me to get out of my own bathroom? I come in here. But hey, guys, I think I figured something out. I told Kel, you know, I've kept headaches a lot, and I know a lot of it's due to stress. But Dwayne can even tell you, he saw that closet door open up by itself the other night, and my headaches has only got worse since my brother gave me that old doll. I don't know if she's making my head hurt or she's trying to tell me that's the way she passed on, that something happened with her head. But as soon as I said that, I looked back and that doll was like leaned over this way. I'm like, oh, hell no. And I think that the reason that door's opening up, that Annie doll's like, put her in the closet and shut the door. But yeah.
I told you to put her in the garage with some sage. Like, don't burn the sage on her or what around her. Just keep it on her.
Yeah.
And that'll probably calm it down a little bit.
Guys, we're about ready for the second part. I mean, it gives us something to watch together. I like that. And it also gives us something to talk about. Christy said he lives in Rhode Island, maybe an hour or so from him is the actual Conjuring house.
Yeah, so it is in yeah, okay. See, I've been to Warwick, Rhode Island, and I've been to Providence, Rhode Island, because that's not far from the border of Fall River, Massachusetts, where I was at. Sorry, Ruby snoring, y'all.
Oh, that girl's got a snore. Let her get her snores in.
Here you guys.
Good.
Here you go. You can see the shiny pug.
She's all good. Hey, guys. Earlier, Carol got up, went to the bathroom. She comes back, and Ruby's done climbed in her spot where she was sitting. She's like, move, Ruby. And Ruby just looked up at her and laid back down. Yeah, ghost spitting. Yeah. Spitting, damn right. Can you imagine? I mean, what if that water had came out of that girl's mouth and it was just like in the liquid form, lingering in the air? Would that not have been mind-blowing? What you guys see this? I'm fixing to play the second part. Let me go find it. Here we go, peoples.
I'm playing her live in the background there, but it's on mute.
Okay, hang on. Hang on, let me see where I'm supposed to go. Play back the Enfield goes to girl. Okay. Okay, I think it might be on this one, guys.
Hope so.
I'm gonna skip through until I find it. One or the other.
Ruby, quick grunt.
I'm invisible.
I'm invisible.
You're invisible? Why are you invisible? I'm a G-H-O.
Yeah, it is Phoenix.
Because I'm a G-H-O-S-T.
I'm invisible
Yes,
because
he had
I'm a
quite a sense of humour.
G-O.
He also used to swear
G-H-O-S-T.
a lot as well.
Deal with that shit.
You might want to skip that.
I'm 76 now and still on the trail of 1977. I led a team which investigated.
We've seen that part too.
Hollywood soon got. I've never been able to forget that voice, but mostly Bill or Fred. I still listen to the 180 hours of tapes I recorded
Didn't we
during
already
the
see this one?
investigation.
No. I don't think. Yeah, maybe we did.
Voice is coming from an 11-year-old girl. Well, perhaps Guy, perhaps you've got something to say to them.
Yeah. I'd like to know how you make this noise without bashing Janet's vocal cords to pieces. If
The voice box. Of course, but up to 3 hours at a time, with going from horizontal to vertical in a sixth of a second. Furniture was thrown around the rooms. The house was swarming with journalists. But after 4 days, they were baffled and frightened, and called my team. Even the ghost chipped in. The death certificate confirmed the truth of what the ghost was saying. Many objects materialized out of thin air. Spoons were bent. Fires broke out spontaneously in the impoverished family's home. The family had to endure practically every known phenomena in a poltergeist case. They were
Yeah, I think we left off right about here,
they
didn't we,
didn't
guys?
benefit financially and were ostracized by many of their local community. The Enfield poltergeist menaced that family for 18 months. It nearly destroyed their lives. I'm going back to see them for the first time.
We watched this part too.
And here you see
The second sense that we was dead scared, and we.
That's me.
And
With children playing
I
around.
can say to them is I wish.
Very high levels of stress. I haven't seen super heavy guns
Yeah.
cook, when of course thousands of other troops.
Trying to find out where the girl was poking that water in the mouth.
I think.
Well, I just saw the Warren's picture.
A good accident.
There's the girl, his
Betty and I
daughter
believe
died.
that Janet tried to contact us after her physical death. You might believe that was just our way of dealing with bereavement, but it was a turning point in my life. I decided to carry out serious research into the paranormal and join the Society for Psychical Research. This is now my psychic HQ. The Society is the world's leading centre for the scientific study of the paranormal. I'm the chairman of the Spontaneous Phenomena Committee. People write to us from all around the country with their strange cases, which we investigate on... What name? Who was it? Because there's so many names.
That's the covering letter, isn't it?
Yeah, on the covering letter.
Trying to
So
find
many-
it, guys.
Case then, yeah. We had a letter from a woman in Watford. She claimed her clothes were being severely damaged and sometimes disappearing altogether. Shirley had submitted herself to psychiatric treatment, but there was no explanation. She now keeps her clothes in padlocked cupboards. Only her husband has the keys.
Wow.
In desperation, she contacted our society.
Hello, nice to see you. Hi.
Hello, all right, thank you. Hello, Johnny. Oh, excitement. Hello.
Go in.
Hello.
Little ankle biter.
They're wonderful dogs. They're very, very intelligent.
Yorkie.
Come upstairs and just let me show you.
You know I'm making a video diary, Phil. You've no objection to us using some of this.
I haven't
You won't
seen
use
this one.
Much of it, but some of it you have.
No, I haven't seen this part either.
Okay, thank you. And here the famous
Yes, this is my
padlock
husband's
wardrobe.
with padlocks on that one. This is mine with the stronger lock on the chain. Again, I don't even touch these
You
normally.
can't, can you unlock
No, my husband's got the keys. There's only one set and he's got them with him.
Have any shoes or clothes or anything disappeared from that
Yeah.
one.
Oh, yeah.
Whilst it's been padlocked
Yes,
up
oh,
recently.
Yeah. Yes, oh yeah, in the last few months I've had a shirt from there and a skirt. Sometimes I forget and then I suddenly think, oh, I haven't seen that skirt or whatever. And from the bottom, I mean, my brown boots were actually in that wardrobe when they
yes.
the box. We actually found the carrier bag in the bottom of that wardrobe.
Now, when you
That's
want anything
crazy.
out of there, you have to ask your husband
Yeah,
to
I
ask?
leave, if he isn't in, I leave him a note. I had to leave him a note actually last night to leave this skirt and sweater
Well, that's
out.
dreadful.
Yeah, I
Really?
leave him. And sometimes he goes out and I have to say, no, I
No, excuse me laughing, but it seems to be a ludicrous situation.
I don't tell people, I don't say anything to anybody.
Come on, dog, you're the one who's responsible, I'm sure. You are responsible for it. Oh, look at him wagging his tail.
I wish he knew. If that dog could talk, he'd be able to tell me a lot of things.
Yes, I'm sure he would.
Yes.
May I suggest to you that you stop all this padlocking business and get back to a normal life, and if things still disappear, you start to accept it and see then whether it starts to diminish. I think, you see, I think what is happening is that let's assume that it is paranormal activity. I mean, make the assumption it is paranormal activity. By having all these padlocks and bolts and sleeping in the
Spirits
spare
can
room,
still move stuff
you
that's
are
padlocked.
continuing a high-stress situation.
Right.
Now, if you're continuing
If she ain't doing it, then maybe
and if it is paranormal,
Maybe she's sleepwalking.
Maybe her
if
husband
it
was.
is teleportation,
You know what I mean?
Got the key.
whatever.
But yeah.
But how's she doing it when her husband's got the keys?
True.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not her, and it's not her husband trying to drive her crazy. Then there's no other explanation but that it is paranormal. And that wasn't even what I was trying to show. So let me go on to our third one.
But that was kind of neat, though.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
The town of Enfield was North London. The kid I was a very outgoing child, very energetic. I love swimming and I love sport.
There's a little girl.
I was sort of
Janet.
helpful towards my younger brothers and sisters.
Really?
It was just like a normal family life, really.
We had no knowledge of the history of the house before the happenings and the events started.
This racket started to occur in the back bedroom and some disturbance. And my mum came into the room and she said, Johnny and Janet, pack it up and sleep. You've got to get up in the morning. And the chest of drawers near the wall and the door had slid into sort of the doorway.
Let's keep it right here, guys.
Very scared and tired of it. And it got worse as the time went on. We got more exhausted with it.
It's what happens in the supernatural demonic world. In order to infiltrate someone's life, they don't just, oh, I now have you possessed. They begin to feed on that fear.
How the police were involved. They came to the house, they investigated, they checked around, and sure enough, all the weird stuff that the family was saying were happening in the home actually happened to the police officers.
This chair in the corner sort of shot forward about 1 metre in front of them on its own. And she sort of went like that, the policewoman, and she sort of looked in disbelief and was looking to see something was attached to it and one of us might be playing a joke on her, maybe. That's the sort of look she gave.
When you read their interviews, it's like they could not get out of there fast enough.
That's what cracks me up. It's like the police officer's like, okay, we're done.
I didn't know what else to do. I suppose like in desperation for some sort of help.
The chap on the news desk, being a bit sceptical, obviously didn't believe her at all.
The newspaper thought that my neighbour was drunk.
Her neighbour was
They
drunk.
don't come across this every day, do they?
When she mentioned the police had seen this, they had to believe them then. You wouldn't ignore the fact that if the police had witnessed something, that was good enough for us. I was in my early 20s. I was a photographer on the Daily Mirror, covering anything, everything. News, sport, fashion, you name it, I shot it. Janet was brought in, and as she came into the room, suddenly things just took off.
She was
Whatever
oppressed
Janet
by
was,
that
it
spirit.
just seemed to happen.
She
Kids
wasn't
are kids,
fully
you know, they'll do funny little things for
possessed,
attention,
but she had an
not the things
oppression.
that we were
Yeah.
seeing, we were witnessing there. They couldn't have done those things. They weren't even in the same room at the
I wonder
time.
why he picked her.
So, no, I quite believe.
Maybe she's the weakest link.
Was watching was
Probably.
genuine. You'd have
See, that has to be a
chairs
strong
up,
entity
beds
to be able to turn over
over,
things like that.
Drawers would fly out. in the
Mm-hmm.
room, there was no one
Levitate
in.
children.
Oh my God. The levitation of those girls.
Hey, there's
They
Mallory.
would levitate.
She is such a
I
pretty.
remember being pulled from
She
my bed.
was.
I felt like a cold hand feeling and pushed up into the air. It was like a force, and I was screaming.
Then they levitate, crisscross in the air.
The shot of Janet levitating was done with a cable running down to where I was, down in the main sort of living room. She was up in the bedroom. We had a camera set up in the corner, motor driven, with stroboscopic flash. I wasn't in the room at the time. I didn't see this until the following day when we process films and have a look. So that came as a real
They
surprise.
was
to
really jerk
everyone
off the
that
bed,
we
guys,
knew
is
that she
what
was
they're
falling out
saying.
of bed. We could hear the
Yeah.
bang on the floor. We could hear her scream. We knew what was going on. We only had Janet's word for it. But then the following day, we look at the pictures. That would prove it.
It became, over the months, a bit of everyday life, which was quite bad. But before that, I certainly thought that ghosts were ghost stories, and they were all fictitious.
We realised that we had to get other people involved, i.e. the Society for Psychical Research, who look into these things. And that's when people like Maurice Grosse were involved, and they were the, quotes, professionals. As far as Maurice is concerned, I understood that he had a connection with the case. He'd gone along there believing that it was his recently deceased daughter, who was also called Janet, who was trying to contact him from beyond the grave, sort of thing. And I'm sorry, it's all lost on me.
Janet, are you all right?
This voice channeled towards Janet's direction, and we looked at her face, but her mouth wasn't moving.
Ed, no. Hold your leg on me on bed. No, give me. No, I don't want to. Yeah, I'll do it. He got hold of lower.
I think people thought at first that I was doing it deliberately. So tests were done.
Mr. Grosse filled her mouth up with water when we all was watching, and the voice was still talking. And Mr. Grosse asked him, "Where are you from?"
I come from the grave.
Great, wow.
Do you know they used some of those actual things for that movie?
We
Yeah.
are in the actual graveyard
real
where Bill Wilkins is
tape.
actually buried.
Mum, she's watching over us.
The expression on my mum's face is just how she used to look at me.
I felt sorry for the kids because everyone had to be there to see it, from Cambridge professors to TV companies. There was even one, there was a ventriloquist, was invited along to the house to see if Janet was making sounds herself and, this sort of stuff.
There were so many witnesses and so many people had seen things.
With the media there, reporters, investigators. There was no privacy anymore. Our lives weren't their own.
My name's Kent Allen. We're with the television
Wow.
news program Wide Angle.
Would you want
I was
to
hoping to have a
continue
word with you
living
about the,
somewhere
disturbance.
where your
This
lot was
family
taken
became
to
minor
hell?
celebrities at the time, and this
know.
wasn't just a family off by themselves, off in the woods with nobody around. This was a council house in the middle of London. It is the house that you would never think that was haunted, and inside were these people living this nightmare.
There was a buzz that went around that Ed and Lorraine were coming over from the States to witness, what was happening in the house. I remember that everyone thought, wow, this is fantastic, this is really interesting that someone's going to, really bothered to do so much, to come so far.
I've done research all over the world. I never charged for anything I did. What happened wasn't good. I needed to help them.
When Ed and Lorraine come to the house, to me it felt like some sort of comfort.
Phoenix,
for the first
just type
time.
in the Enfield poltergeist
especially in the
documentary.
70s, your
And it
neighborhoods.
should bring it up
you
for
know
you,
how
love.
people weren't.
Yeah,
so
and you can
afraid to
watch
help
the
each
actual
other.
documentary
And you just did it because it was
later.
the right thing to do.
Lorraine has cited this particular case as being one of the most terrifying of her
Yeah,
career.
and she said, gosh,
never
Lorraine had said that when they did The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2, that they couldn't have played it more to the role than what they did. That they had got it close as they could to the actual thing.
Yeah, like except a few little things, the way they ended, like The Conjuring 1 didn't catch on fire or nothing like that.
Anything
But
like that would happen to me.
She said, there's definitely some spirit here. And she said, I feel it's not always good. And she said, I wouldn't say it was very evil, but she said, I'm very worried about it.
Lorraine has always said to me, she goes, I know that this gig is ordained. It was meant
Here's
to
the
be
one who played-
and like it or not.
Yeah, did they
I
make
grew
that
up.
in that actual
And
house?
Despite the fear and despite
I think they just pictures
there
of
was
the
never any
actual
doubt
house to do it.
So they didn't do the documentary,
see
I
it's
mean
the
the
house,
movie
there's
in
no
that
doubt
house.
about it.
No.
We had Margaret and
That's the
Janet
actual
come
house,
back and
isn't
visit
it?
us
Right
while we were
there.
shooting.
Yeah, on the
This is my
documentary.
mother's bedroom. She always had a chair in the corner here, but it's very much like her room was. Oh wow! This is a recreation of the room. My sister slept on.
It really brings back memories.
Wow.
It was the first time they had seen Lorraine, who was on set the same day, in 38 years.
Yes, I agree. Lorraine and Ed. They was a few.
Oh, lovely to see you. We've seen you in the films as well. In the other films, I watched you. You were kids. I know. We never forgot that. Thank you.
It was an extremely
I miss
emotional
Lorraine.
reunion for all of them because they remember Lorraine and Ed so fondly and how they had truly tried to help the Hodgson family, not just with the supernatural elements, but just help them as a family.
Out of their repertoire of cases that they've investigated of their lifetime,
Such a
this is
lovely
one of their most
couple.
interesting ones.
I do
Because of
think the
nature
ones
of
they
it,
casted
the
for Ed and
Hodgson
Lorraine
family
for
had their
those
fair
Conjuring
shares of
movies
fans and
did a
skeptics.
Our
brilliant
principal
job.
characters here are all children, and children can be very ingenious pranksters.
Anita Gregory, I've always despised her, resented her because she said it was a complete fake.
My girl didn't make this up. What? No, but I've seen things.
She was caught red-handed faking an event. Obviously, this family, if it was a hoax or not, was in great distress, okay? I think that we can agree on. And whatever the reason, like, I can totally respect that and be like, I'm so sorry that for whatever reason you felt this way and this kind of stuff was happening.
No one could fake something like that. They'd have
No,
to
I
be
don't
a
think they would
very
either.
good 11-year-old actor.
Yeah.
This is my house. No, it's not.
And there is that question of did something really happen or not. There are a lot of believers that really believe something did happen, and there's some people that feel that the girls were putting something on. But there is enough evidence that's irrefutable that makes us feel like something was really strongly going on there.
Don't you see it?
See what?
Like they did
I
find
don't
that
think
that
I'll
Bill
ever be able to
Hutchins
put
actually
that
was
closure
a
on
real
it because
person.
The memories. will
Yeah,
always
they
be
found the
there.
death certificate.
It will never go. It had such a big impact on my childhood.
At the end of the day, it didn't just taper
But
off.
why would
it
he-
burns itself out. You know, it
But
gets
why would
to
he
the point
bother the
where
kids like
things
that?
weren't happening.
He was getting a thrill out of it,
just
Kel.
ended up as a complete mystery as it started.
He was probably a grumpy old man in life too, like he wasn't dead.
I'm very grateful for giving us the chance to tell our true story.
You know, guys, how great was it? How great was it that if it wasn't for Morris Gross, he's the one that started, you know, trying to help that family. And then it went from there that he got Ed and Lorraine involved in it. And even they thought they was faking it first. Until the water incident, when the little girl put the water in her mouth and Ed's looking right at her when they was filming it, and they all seen it. She still had the water in her mouth and her mouth closed, but the voice was still coming out.
Mm-hmm.
That was proof. I mean, if they didn't show so much through that documentary, I would have believed that was some Hollywood made up bullshit just to make a good scary movie. But when the proof was something like that, how much better does it make a movie? I mean, it makes you eager to watch it. Do you guys know that there's a Conjuring 3 being made and it's supposed to play this summer?
Yeah, I don't know which one I don't know if it's an Ed and Lorraine one they're basing it on, but
I don't know. I just know. Well, yeah, it is, because a woman that plays Lorraine is playing in the third one also. And the guy that played Ed.
I have to see which one they're doing this time. Do you know that the Nun, you remember the movie Nun, right?
Yeah.
Is basically the demon that attached itself to Ed.
Yeah.
Because there is, like, you see at the very end where Ed's showing like the footage of the guy that was possessed getting that exorcism. And through his whole life, Lorraine kept seeing that evil presence. And they wonder if that's why Ed kind of passed away early. In 2006, he passed away.
A mockumentary like Helltown, Phoenix said.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm glad that they do. We're able to sit back with technology now and we can pull up, you know, stuff like this, because it teaches us things that we didn't know and things that you need to look out for when you're going to do paranormal investigations.
Mm-hmm. Because
people go ahead, Kel.
I was just going to say, people think paranormal, like I remember when we were on Weave, because people used to ask me questions all the time when I did my other paranormal channel back then on Weave, right? And someone was telling me that, you know, they were kids and they were playing around in a cemetery and they used candles and they got something evil because they didn't know what they were doing. Now, being a paranormal investigator, people think it's all fun and games and, oh, it's a joke and da-da-da-da. No. I don't think it is, because I've seen and heard things and all my life, and I've always been into the paranormal.
Yeah. Yeah. So true. That's what I was getting ready to say. You know, you better know when you start stepping into the world of the paranormal, you better sit back and you better do your research. You better read up and you better listen well. Because if people think it's a joke, just like you got these young kids that want to go in these graveyards and places and play with the Ouija board, they don't know the trouble they're asking for and what kind of portal they're opening up that they cannot close. That's why.
And even when the teenagers will go to grave sites and tear them up, and that can honestly affect things. Or the fact, not only are they messing with Ouija boards, that is a divination tool. I mean, I use the pendulum, but some people feel safe using the Ouija board. It just depends on how you feel and your intentions that you put into an object.
Right.
However, I don't mess with the Ouija board because I've had bad experiences with it when I was younger and stupid and didn't know what I was doing.
I'm going to tell you guys something. When I was, I guess, 21 years old, about 21, 22, My friend and I, her name's Barbara, we had a friend named Tim that lived, just right up around the corner. Tim had a real hard time because he was gay, and back then people didn't accept somebody being gay very well. Tim was a real good friend of ours, but he liked his dark stuff. He studied witchcraft and stuff like that. Well, me and my friend Barbara come up one night, and he's like, "You all need to come up and check out my Ouija board." And I'm like, "Dude, I ain't touching no Ouija board." I said, "I don't believe in those things. I ain't touching it." Of course, I believed bad things could come from it, but I didn't want to tell him that. He's like, "Oh, y'all just come on up. We'll just sit around and talk." Well, we end up going up there, and he's got black and red candles sitting everywhere. When I walked in, instantly I started getting a bad vibe. And now, mind you, that was the first time I'd ever been in his apartment. And I even told my friend, I'm like, "I got a bad feeling. I think we need to leave from here." She's like, "No, it'll be okay. It'll be okay." Yes, I love him. He is such a good guy. But anyway, we was sitting in there, and he brought that Ouija board out. He's like, "Look, I'm going to show you guys that it ain't me. I don't have to lay a hand on this. All I got to do is talk to it, and that planchette will move." I'm like, "I don't believe that crap." Well, he brings it in there, and he sets it down on the floor. We're all sitting in a circle around it. And he starts talking. This thing starts spinning. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, "Okay, what's the trick? How are you making it move?" He said, "I'm telling you, it's not me. I'm not touching." He said, "Look, I'm not touching it." And nobody was touching it. About this time when he asked, was they an evil spirit in there, that thing swung to the yes. And when it did, I about ripped my leg off because my foot had got hung up underneath the way I was sitting. My foot was kind of up underneath his couch a little bit. Honey, when that thing went flying across the, good night, Belle. Thank you for coming in, doll. God bless you.
Yes, thank you.
Tomorrow. I jumped up so hard, I about ripped my leg off to get out of that apartment, because when that thing slung to the yes, I looked at Tim and I looked at my friend. His eyes looked jet black. And he just had a disfigured look on his face. It scared the crap out of me so bad. I went running out there trying to drag her up, and she's like, "No, I'm not ready to leave yet." I'm like, "Fuck you, I'm not staying here. I'm going home." I went home, and I never, ever went back in his apartment again. And, and Tim's a good guy. That shit right there, I told him the next day, I said, "Dude, I'm telling you, you better quit messing with that stuff." Because a look that I saw in your eyes last night, I said, it wasn't from this world.
You know what the weird thing is? You can use black candles as purification candles as well as white ones. Like I said, it's all about intention, because the red candles can also be used for love,
Right.
But it's all about intention. Now, if he was using the black and red candles for black magic, because, I dabble in the occult, but it's not the dark side.
Right.
I do all healing magic or healing, whatever you want to call it, right? So I think what it is that he was messing with something he didn't understand. I don't know why everybody wants to go to the dark side.
Well, I think he was trying to do love spells, Kel, because he could not find nobody for the longest time that would want to be in a relationship with him. Every time they got in a relationship with him, they would leave. And I'm wondering if it was because of the bad energy that was in his home.
I'm wondering that too.
That he couldn't keep anybody.
I just got the worst Charlie horse in my leg.
So you're feeling my pain.
Oh my gosh, it's all the way up my inner thigh and all the way down into my calf muscle.
My brother bought me some stuff that you spray on your leg.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for that. It's for Charlie horses. He told me, he said, sis, he said, I never knew how bad that hurt you until I experienced it myself.
Do you know what else helps Charlie horses?
What?
Pickle juice.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking about sweet ones like you like. I'm talking about the dill pickle kind.
Yeah.
If you drink like a teaspoon of that, it'll help within a minute.
The only way I will eat pickles is if it's in tuna salad. I don't like them on my hamburgers. I don't like them on my sandwiches. My girls and my grandchildren, they'll sit and eat jars of pickles.
Are they the dill, like sour deals? 'Cause I
Yes.
love sour deals.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
Like, no, that's nasty. I don't like to taste them. A lot of people love them. I don't love them, however. Well, God, it's 12:11.
Yeah. So what did you guys think? I just want to recap. What are your guys' thoughts on how we did? We didn't mess with the spirit box and stuff tonight. Is this something you guys like? The whole
Tell me what you guys like better, because we want to do what makes you guys happy. So,
and we're just trying different things to bring to the table. I mean, I got a few videos I'm going to make, and if Rhoda wants to go live tomorrow night, we can. And I might be at my friend's too, so her house is kind of haunted.
Phoenix said, I got a witch board from someone I thought would have been a friend, found out. Wait a minute. I got a witch board from someone I thought would have been a friend, found out it was a good person. I took a hammer to the board, salted it, and buried good. I'm glad you did, Phoenix.
Good.
My cramping is beyond pickle juice. Girl, let me tell you, Phoenix, when I get cramping in my leg from Charlie horses, I'm talking softballs.
Twist it. Twist the camera.
Zayn, I can't twist the camera. He's sitting there holding a damn gallon jug of pickles.
I eat those.
He eats these.
Oh my God, they're my favorite.
That's why he loves. Christy says, me and Olivia drink a lot of pickle juice. Yes, and your daddy does too. My brother Chris.
But
her
who
daddy,
doesn't
when
have
he comes to
Charlie
my
horses,
house,
I bet you.
I have to hide the pickles because Chris won't eat the pickles. He'll drink all the juice out of it.
I love juice.
It wasn't a good person, Phoenix. Wow.
So do you guys like the content, like us doing stuff? Because
tell us, do you like these little short skits like this? I mean, we can do this and still throw in the spirit box and different stuff, but tell us what you guys like.
Yeah, like tomorrow I might be at my friend's house, and we can if Rhoda wants to go live, because my friend's house has activity too, so that'd be neat.
Yeah, it would.
I mean, I just like your guys' intake. Even if people watch this later, like give their opinion, like guys, like share it, thumbs up it, hit that notification bell.
Yeah, guys, make sure your notifications are on.
And I know
I still haven't figured this out. I'm trying to figure it out how I can converge Zoom with YouTube, so my thumbnails will go live on there like it was with StreamYards. She said, let's see, watching the documentaries is cool because I can really believe it. I can't really believe any kind of information coming off a game, but I did want to see the girl spit in water. I'm going to look that up because I know there's actual footage. I thought it was on that one, but evidently it was just showing the girl on the film doing it. But I want to find the actual footage where it shows that girl holding that water in her mouth.
Yeah.
Chrissy said, I like the voice box and documentaries both. Okay, then we'll do both tomorrow night, guys. And like Kel said, she's going to her friend's house, and Michelle's house is haunted also. And I think Kel said that Michelle has a SB7.
Yeah, if
So-
I can see if she can find it, and if not, we can play with Rhoda's, and it'll come through like it does here with me with spirits over through
Yeah.
here. But yeah, I enjoyed this whole thing, and
It was something different, guys. Something we could all relate in and learn something from, you know. But I'm like Phoenix. I want to see the actual footage of that girl, and I have seen that on here. I'm gonna have to find it. I thought it was on that one that last one that I showed, but
I'm sure it's somewhere. I mean, we can look at that, and I've been wanting to go to the Color's Been Bad. So I'm going to see tomorrow if Michelle will run me down to, when she picks me up, if we can go down to Black Hill Cemetery down here from me. And it's where the Strauss Creek Massacre was. And I just want to take some footage of it so we can show it tomorrow night.
yeah, that'd be cool, dude. Yes, Adrian.
So yeah, that's what I'm hoping to do. So if you guys, just share, comment. And
Tomorrow night, guys, around 10 o'clock is when we'll be going live, and we will use our spirit box tomorrow night. And I'm going to see what else, what other true documentaries with footage I can drum up so we can watch it. And like I said, we're also going to do the spirit box that
look up the real Conjuring House, Rhoda, because it does have some. I know there's real footage. I've seen it.
Okay.
So yeah, even maybe I can look up stuff about the Amityville house.
Yeah, that'd be cool, Kel.
All
right, lovies. Thank you guys so much for coming in here and spending your time with us tonight. We love each and every one of you.
Be nice to each other,
as
and
the weeks go on, maybe we'll get more people in here and
just spread the word. And I'm sorry, Phoenix, like there's other people not getting notifications even when we had this set up tonight, and it showed that we were going live in like 2 minutes, so it was showing us.
Yeah, showing us.
So I don't know.
I don't know what the deal is. I'm gonna have to set up tonight. Maybe I'll do that when we get off here. I want to try to figure it out. Because I do like Zoom, and I'm not gonna lie, I love StreamYards. And
we might go back.
I might try to figure something out that will go back to StreamYards, and that might be what we're gonna start. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But we just had to do something so we could get on here with you guys. But until then, God bless you all. Be safe. Be kind to one another. And we'll see you tomorrow night. Love you. Bye.
Bye. Bye, sis.
I love.